Hello, I'm Will and this is Mike with the Tabletop Donkeys.
Hello.
And in this video we'll be looking at issue 51 of Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol magazine, which came with 2 more layer paints, Pallid Witchflesh and Pink Horror. We'll be applying those to our models in our painting guide, and then we'll be learning about a new campaign that is going to be running through the following issues of the magazine. So for the painting guide, we are applying our new Pink Horror and Pallid Witchflesh, and also some Mechanicus Standard Grey. So some Pallid Witchflesh on the Space Marines to highlight the purity seals, the edge of the captain's cloak and the chaplain's helmet, and also the unhelmeted heads as a highlight for the flesh colour. Then Pink Horror as a highlight for the wax part of the purity seals, the book on the chaplain's bike, and Mechanicus Standard Grey for the black ribbed undersuits, the tyres on the chaplain's bike, the Infernus Sergeant's hair. Then same colours on our Eldari, so some Pallid Witchflesh again for cloaks and skin, Pink Horror for the edges of the burgundy cloak on the Farseer and the gem on his spear, and the Wraithlord's tabard. And once again Mechanicus Standard Grey as a highlight for black parts, like some of the mechanical bits on the Wraithlord and Windrider's hair and leather parts. And finally for the Tyranids, we've got Pallid Witchflesh as a highlight for all of the pale flesh. So there's lots of this, so it will take quite a while because there's lots of definition and detail, and it suggests you highlight all of it with Pallid Witchflesh. Though because it's organic, if you make a mistake, it shouldn't look too bad unless you get it onto a bit which is supposed to be a different colour, of course. And then Pink Horror as an edge highlight for all of the burgundy carapace areas, which again will take you quite a while. And on the carapace of some of the larger creatures, like the Psychophage, it also suggests doing some striations on the larger carapace plates, which aren't physically raised areas on the model, but if you apply them it will give a texture to the plates to make them look like hard chitinous sections. And then also Mechanicus Standard Grey on the black claws and some other little bits. And that's what they look like, and you can particularly see on the Psychophage how those extra lines you've added to the carapace do make it look a bit more interesting. Then we have the Law of the Leagues of Votan. Next Combat Patrol we're going to be starting in the following issue. They are a species of clones who live in the harsh environments of the galactic core, directed by ancient machines called Ancestor Cores, which they call Votan, hence the name, providing them with guidance, equipment and protection. And their way of life revolves around acquiring and utilising resources. So they're always out looking for more resources, harvesting them and attempting to gain a profit out of them. And they're a highly pragmatic species with a lot of advanced technology, which means that at war they can be particularly dangerous. And there's a bit more about the galactic core where they live, where most other species haven't bothered to settle, because it's a fairly harsh environment. And their own history is preserved within the memories of their ancestor cores, but some of it is so old that it's quite difficult to access or understand, though they maintain that they are descendants of ancient colonists who set out from pre-imperial Terra, which would explain why a lot of their equipment is similar to that of the Imperium, though often actually superior, and also their humanoid appearance, though they are more squat of stature. And over the page is a bit about war zones that they are involved in, such as Warzone Bastior and the Charnoth Expanse, which we've learned about previously, and also something they call Urgveya, which is a warp storm where one of their leagues is heavily embroiled in fighting. That's it for the hobby and lore component of this issue. I'll hand you over to Mike now, who is going to talk to us about the campaign that will be beginning in the following issues.
Rather than having any new rules to go over, because I think we've completed the core rules now, instead we have a collection of articles here on campaigns, or a narrative campaign, Fires of Conflict as it's called here. So narrative campaigns are basically just a way of linking multiple battles together to create a story, because sometimes it is more interesting rather than just playing games in a vacuum. It is nice to try and think of a reason for why your armies are fighting in a particular location, or what motivates them. And this is just an example of that within the magazine. So you can see we've got the 9 factions we'll be getting throughout the magazine. And when you're doing a narrative campaign, it's often nice to think about the background of the setting. So this narrative campaign is presented as taking place in Warzone Bastior, where the Orks were infringing on the Imperial system. The Imperial planets tried to muster their planetary defense forces, and then the forces of Chaos started to encroach by settling on some of the more deserted planets and so on, until eventually all of the factions came to the Warzone with each of their own goals and motivations. There's a nice bit of artwork there from Epic Titan Legions. And here on the next page just gives you a little bit of background for why each of the factions might be fighting in this narrative campaign. I'll just let you pause and read them. I won't go over them now. So how do we actually play this campaign? Well, this campaign is actually designed to be played by 2 players, and the idea is that there will be a series of articles, each presenting a game. So each scenario is designed to be played with the 4 combat patrol each, and essentially the winner plays on. So if you start with Space Marines v Tyranids, if the Space Marines win, the Space Marines will play in the next game, while the other player takes a different combat patrol. and each of the game articles will have a little bit of background on that particular battle, and it goes over the end results for each winning faction, and there's a little box for the campaign victory if you're playing for a faction victory, which we'll learn about in a second, and also tells you which game to play next. And it just goes over how we use the substitute units from the magazine, and obviously each faction can use their faction abilities. And all the games will be the standard combat patrol missions we've seen up to this point. We've got all of them now, although it does note that there are no draws in this campaign. If a mission ends in a draw, the two warlords should duel to the death, so they reset their wounds to their starting values, place them 12 inches away on an empty board, and the last one alive wins. There's also some options on how you actually play the game, so you could choose to use just the basic rules, which it says here are the rules from the first 20 issues of Combat Patrol magazine. So this would basically be all the basic sort of moving and shooting rules, but none of the stratagems or anything. This would be better if you're perhaps still learning the game, or you're playing this with someone who is learning the game. It would be a good way to teach them the rules. Or alternatively, which we'll be doing, is using the full core rules, so we'll be using stratagems, although you can always pick and choose which parts you do want to use. No one can stop you from playing the games how you want, really. And then there are some options for winning the campaign. So it gives you a player victory, which is just the first player to win 3 games. So it'll be a very short campaign, but it does give you the chance to play multiple combat patrols and have a bit more variety. Alternatively, there's the faction victory, where if a player wins, they play with the same combat patrol again, and the other player chooses a different one. And if someone wins 3 games in a row, they achieve a faction victory. So that might take a while until you get a winning streak of 3. Could potentially go on forever if you were very unlucky, I suppose. Then when someone's won the campaign, you can read the campaign victory box that each of the articles has. So if you're going for a player victory, you read the bit where it refers to the final battle that player has played to show you why they've won. Whereas if they've gone for a faction victory, then the story refers to the 3 battles that their side has fought. And each of these campaign articles does have a campaign victory, in case that was the last one in a series of 3. You can see in this example, at the top left would be the player victory, at the bottom left you can see which game the player has to play next, and if the player has achieved a faction victory, then you can read the campaign victory box on the right. And then there's a victory tracker on the back page. So this says you can write down who's playing each faction, and each faction has 8 different boxes representing all the other factions they can play against. What we'll probably end up doing, because the player victory, the campaign will be over very quickly, and a faction victory, that might get a bit boring seeing the same faction multiple times in a row. So what we're probably just going to end up doing is trying to play an even number of games between all the factions. Obviously, perhaps the Astra Militarum and World Eaters might miss out on that, and whichever faction has won the most games by the end will be the overall winner. But let us know in the comments if you've got any thoughts about that. For the meantime though, we need to see our new Ork Combat Patrol, since we have the full one. So we'll set up a game and you can see them in action, and that won't be part of the campaign yet. And here we are deployed for sweeping raid with Chaos Space Marines on the left and Orks on the right. And there's objectives 1, 2, 3 and 4. So objective 1 just behind the Chaos Marines in the bottom left, 2 and 3 towards the middle, and 4 on the right behind the Orks. For victory conditions, we get 5 VP for each objective we control at the end of our command phase in battle rounds 2, 3 and 4. And at the end of the game, objectives 3 and 4 are only worth victory points for me, and 1 and 2 are victory points for the Orks. And the mission rule is that at the start of our command phases, if we hold our home objective, so 1 for me, 4 for the Orks, we get an extra command point on a 4+. Just do a quick look at the Chaos deployment. So I've got the squad of Chaos Marines, I've split them up, so I've got a squad with bolt guns and heavy bolter on the left, sticky objective 1, the Hellbrute with the other Chaos Marines with the Dark Apostle, and the Havocs up at the top of the board. I've gone for Infernal Blessing as the enhancement for the Dark Apostle, which gives him a 5+2 no pain, and we're going for the default secondary objective where I get 3 victory points in the shooting or fight phase if the Dark Apostle destroys a model. And here we can see the Orks Combat Patrol with the Death Copters in reserve.
Yep, so they're going to be deployed to use Deep Strike coming in later. And then I've got 1 unit of boys on the right of your picture as you see it, the Death Dread in the centre, the War Boss just behind the Death Dread, and the other unit of boys, that's on the rocket launcher, up near the top, so they'll be able to secure objective 4. And as usual, when we first try out a Combat Patrol, I've gone for the default enhancement and the secondary. So the enhancement for the War Boss is Grizzled Scarboy, where every time he takes a ranged attack, the damage characteristic is halved, and the default secondary objective is Stomp 'em. So from the secondary battle round onwards, I select an enemy unit at the start of the battle round, and if that unit is destroyed by a melee attack made by an Ork unit, then I get 3 victory points.
Rolling off to see who goes first. Well, I've won the roll-off, so we're into Chaos Marines turn 1. In my command phase, I did actually get a second command point, so I'm on 2. You can see my movement. The squad at the bottom left has just moved a little bit to get in range of the Orks on the bottom right. The Havocs have moved forward a bit to get in range of that squad of boys on the right. Chaos Marine squad advanced to get in range of objective 2, and the Hellbrute has moved up normally so it can do some shooting as well. I think I'll start with the Havocs, and we're going to put the Reaper chain cannon, the heavy bolter and the plasma gun into the boys squad, and a crack missile and the las cannon into the Death Dread. And I think we'll spend a command point for malicious volleys. Lets me reroll hit rolls of 1. So I think we'll do a dark pack with the Havocs as well, and we'll go for sustained hits. It won't stack with the heavy bolter, but it will help the other guns. So we've got the las cannon hitting on a 3, rerolling 1s. It hits. Strength 12, so wounding on a 3. It does wound at -3 AP.
So a 5+ save for the Death Dread. Oh, a 5.
And the crack missile re-rolls that 1 into a 1 and misses. We'll do the chain cannon, 8 shots on 3s, re-rolling 1s. So I've got 6 hits but 2 sustained, so we're back up to 8 hits. Strength 5, so wounding on 4s. 3 wounds, 6 up at the top, no AP though.
3 5+ saves for the boys. Nope, that's 3 dead orcs so far.
We've got a plasma gun, that hits. Wounds on a 3. It does -2. I'm not supercharging.
So that'll just kill 1.
And then the heavy bolter, 3 shots, rerolling 1s. Oh, into a 6, which gets me a sustain, so that's 3 hits. Wounding on 4s. 1 at -1.
6. Nope, another dead orc, so that's 5 in total.
And then leadership test for the Dark Pact. They passed.
And then I'll spend a command point for Crump Dagit, which is when a unit is shot at. After the shooting is finished, I can spend a command point for it to make a normal move up to d6 inches. I'll pick the Death Dread, and it can go 1 inch. So moving a mighty whole inch forward, and obviously there are only 5 orcs left as well.
Yeah, and I'll do the Hellbrute next. It's going to shoot its plasma cannon at the orcs as well. So we've got D3 plus 1 from Blast. So 4 shots on 3s, 3 hits, and wounding on 3s because strength 8. 3 wounds.
And 3 more dead because it's AP -3 or 2.
Yeah, and hazardous, it's fine. Then finally the squad at the bottom are going to shoot at the other unit of orc boys, and we'll do a dark pact for lethal hits this time because bolters will be wounding on 5s. So 8 bolter shots hitting on 3s, 6s are lethals. Well, a couple of lethals in there, that's helped. 3 hits wounding on 5s, getting nothing, so just 2 saves at no AP.
5s, made 1, so we lose an orc.
And the heavy bolter, 6s will be lethal and sustained, but it's hitting on 4s. Oof, they all hit, and there's 2 lethals in there. And then these wound on 4s, getting another one, so 3 wounds at AP -1.
6s, nope, 3 more orcs dead.
So the squad at the top is now reduced to the Knob and regular Slugger Chopper Boy, and the rest of the bottom has lost all the shooters. But at the end for Chaos Space Marines turn 1, on to Orcs turn 1.
So I did get an extra command point as well from the mission special rule, but I do need to roll a battle shock test for that unit of 2 boys, and if they fail then they won't be able to secure the objective. But they pass, so I don't need to use a command point for Insane Bravery at least. Well, I don't actually have that many models to move anymore, but everything advanced except for the Death Dread. I'm not calling a war this turn, I would have actually had to declare that at the start of the battle round, I believe. So the unit of 6 boys is advanced on to objective 3. The remaining 2 boys from the other squad are just hiding behind the Death Dread for the moment, because the Power Claw might be useful and they are still a battle line unit. The War Boss getting just behind some barricades at the top of the board, and the Death Dread is coming down the middle. And the Death Dread will be my only shooting, and it'll put some rockets into the Hellbrute, because the Hellbrute's probably going to charge it next turn. D3 shots, 2, which hit on 5s. Nope. And the Death Dread might as well declare a charge on the Hellbrute. It's going to need a big number, but there's not really anything to lose. No, an 8 is not enough, and I won't re-roll that. So that will be the end of my turn.
On to Chaos Marines turn 2.
But at the start of the battle round I did declare war for the Orcs, so that means they can advance and charge. That's probably not going to be that relevant, and plus 1 strength and attacks as well. Important thing is they get 5+ invulnerable save, and the Warboss has a 4+ feel no pain for this battle round because of his own ability.
Yeah, and then in the command phase I did not gain an extra command points, but I did gain 10 victory points for holding 2 objectives. In the movement, the Hellbrute and the Dark Apostle squad coming around the cargo container, with the Havocs moving across to cover more of my backfield and see the Orcs at the bottom of the board. So onto the shooting phase, where I'll start with the Havocs. We'll put the heavy bolter, the plasma and the chain cannon into the squad of boys at the bottom of the board, and a crack missile and a las cannon shot into the Death Dread, and we will do a dark pact for a sustained hit, and I'll spend a CP for malicious volleys. And Will's just reminded me, I forgot to do a leadership test for the Chaos Marines at the bottom of the board, so I'll just do that now. They passed. I'll do the shots on the boys first. So 8 shots hitting on 3s, 6s are sustained and re-rolling 1s. 7 hits. Strength 5, so wounding on 4s. 4 wounds with no AP.
5s on them, no cover. Oh, actually made 3 of them, so only 1 dead so far.
Plasma not supercharged. Misses with a 2. And the heavy bolter in the Havoc squad hits 3 times. And wounds once.
With a 6 to save.
So
5 plus invulnerable though from War, but that's still a 1.
And then Las Cannon gets a 1, which I can re-roll into a hit, and it wounds on a 3. It does.
5 plus invulnerable save. Oh, made it.
Oh, and a crack missile that hits and wounds on a 4, strength 9. Doesn't wound, and you know what? I'm going to re-roll that. Try and do some damage to it. Oh, it does. -2.
4 plus. No, that does go through. I might re-roll that though.
Yep.
I don't really want a crack missile going through. Right, saved.
And that's the Havoc shooting. And then their leadership test for Dark Packs, they're fine. Down here, this Chaos Marine squad will shoot at the unit of boys, and we'll do a Dark Pact for lethal hits. 8 shots on 3s, with a couple of 6s, and 2 misses. And these wound on 5s, nothing more, so just 2 lethals.
One of the boys certainly has cover from all the bolt guns, but dies. And then another one saves.
Finally, the Heavy Bolter, 1 hit, doesn't wound. Dark Packs for the squad at the bottom, who pass with a 6. Up at the top, the Melter Gun is going to go into the Death Dread, while 3 bolt pistols and the plasma pistol from the champion are going to go into the boys squad. 1 bolt pistol is going to go into the War Boss. Bolt pistol shot on the War Boss, missed. Melter Gun shot on the, what do we call it, missed. We'll do 2 bolt pistol shots on the boys from the regular Marines, getting 2 hits and no wounds. An unsupercharged plasma pistol shot, that misses, and a pistol shot from the Dark Apostle that misses. Finally, I've got the Hellbrute, and he's going to shoot at the Death Dread. D3 shots, 3, hitting on 3s, getting 2. Wounding on 5s though, because it's only strength 8. No. And hazardous, it isn't. Finally, onto the charge phase. I'm going to charge with the Hellbrute at the Death Dread. 5 is probably enough. The Dark Apostle and his squad will go into the War Boss. But with a 2, they'll fail, and I won't re-roll it. So the only fight is the Hellbrute versus the Death Dread. Hellbrute's got 5 attacks hitting on 4s, getting 2. Strength 14, so wounding on 3s. Wounds twice, -3.
5 plus either way from the Death Dread. Made 1.
D6 plus 1 damage, 5.
Down to 3. And the Death Dread gets to hit back, and because War is in effect, it actually gets 7 attacks, because it gets an extra 1, which are higher strength as well. And it hits 4 times on 3s. Wounding on 3s, wounds 10. They all wound, -2.
So 4 plus armor saves, made 3. I'll take the 3 damage and go down to 5. And that's the end of Chaos Marines turn 2.
So I didn't get another CP this turn, and I do have to take some battle shock tests, starting with these boys down here.
Yeah, it's important because if they fail, they won't be holding an objective.
They fail with a 5, but I will spend a CP for Insane Bravery to make sure they pass, which, if you remember the version of the rules we're using, this is how Insane Bravery works, even though they changed it later, but that's the one presented in the magazine.
So the Orcs will be getting 10 victory points this turn.
And I have 2 more to take. I've got the other boys. They pass, and the Death Dread. That does fail. And then because I can advance and charge, the boys at the bottom did advance. They actually only rolled 1, but that makes the charge slightly shorter. And the Death Copters have arrived behind them. The Death Dread being battle shocked is going to stay in melee because I don't want it to potentially die. Those 2 Orcs that are left, well, the Power Claw might actually be helpful against the Hellbrute, so they have nothing better to do really. And the War Boss are moving up towards the Chaos Marines, trying to make the best use of his Feel No Pain while he's got it. And I'll start shooting with the Death Copters. They're going to put all their shooting into the Havocs. 2d3 Copter rockets, plus 1 each because of blast. No, only 4. Hitting on 5s, nothing at all. And 3 shots from the custom Mega Blaster, also on 5s. That hits twice. And we're wounding on 3s because it's strength 9. They do wound at -2 AP.
I'll take it on the champion first because he's the least important. He's got a 5 plus, which he failed.
D6 damage, 4, so he dies.
And then we'll do the Heavy Bolter on a 4 plus, he's fine.
Do the War Boss next, put the big shooter into the Dark Apostles unit, try and get rid of those Dark Disciples. 5 shots on 4s because the Grot is a little better at shooting on top. Well, 3 hits. And 3s to wound because it is strength 5. Well, they do, no AP, but...
You know what, I'll take it on Marines. So I'll take it on one of the Marines with a chainsword, who's fine, and then he takes a wound.
And the 2 remaining boys near the Hellbrute shot at the Dark Apostles unit as well, but didn't do anything, and the Death Dread fired a rocket at the Havocs, but missed because it was hitting on the 6.
Yeah, and it's a vehicle so it can shoot weapons in combat, but it's a blast weapon so it's to shoot out of combat.
And then we have some charges, starting up there with the War Boss, and then after that I'll roll the 2 boys next to the Hellbrute. War Boss gets a 7, so that'll be in. The other 2 boys just need a 2, so I won't bother showing. Then I'll do the death copters, because they can fly over the boys, but I don't want the boys getting in the way and making their charge longer. They'll need a 9. Ooh, a 10.
Ooh,
they're in. And I'll roll the boys as well. They get a 7, they'll probably be in as well. And that's the end result of all those charges. Chaos Forces can interrupt those, so I will pick the War Boss to fight first. But I would use this command point for Epic Challenge to give the War Boss precision on his big axe, because otherwise I'm probably just going to kill that wounded Chaos Marine and maybe both of the Dark Disciples, which isn't worth it. So he has 5 attacks, hit on 2s. 4 hits, and winning on 2s because they're technically strength 11 right now. 3 wounds, and yeah, I'll allocate them to the Dark Apostle. They're 2 damage each, so you can do at least 2 saves at once.
Yeah, because he's got 4 wounds, so 4 plus, made both, and 4 plus, made it.
I'll do the 2 boys fighting the Hellbrute next, just in case they get squished. So the Power Claw's the important one, 4 attacks because of the War, hitting on 4s, 2 hits, and wounding on 3s because strength 10 because of War. So only 1 wound, but it is -2.
4 plus armor save, failed.
It's 2 damage. And we have 1 chopper, which also has 4 attacks because of War, which hits 3 times. And this goes up to strength 5, so it'll be winning on 5 and not 6s. Whoa, 2 wounds because of that, at -1.
3s. Takes another wound, it's down to 2.
I'm going to do the Orc boys down here next, and they can pile in a bit. I'm going to do the other 3 boys next, and I've actually spent a command point for get stuck in, so they can pile in and consolidate up to 6 inches, which gets 1 boy onto the objective. 4 attacks with the big chopper, on 3s, 2 hits, and 2s to wound, because they're going at strength 8, thanks to War, yes, -1.
4 plus armor saves, failed both, but I'll re-roll 1. Nope.
So that's 2 dead, because they're 2 damage each.
Yep.
And 2 other boys, 4 attacks each again, because of War. 6 hits, wounding on 3s, because of the +1 strength. All in the box, 3 wounds.
3 4 plus saves, made 2, so take a wound.
And lastly I've got the Death Copters who've also piled in a bit, and they have 7 attacks each because of War, hitting on 3s. 15 hits, wounding on 3s. That's 15 wounds apparently. No AP though.
5 wounds left in the unit, so I'll roll 5 at a time. 3s, failed 1, failed 3. There you go, they're all dead. That's all the charges, so I'll do the Hellbrute, fighting the Death Dread. 5 attacks on 4s, getting 2 once again. You know what, I'll re-roll it, because it'd probably die if I don't. 3 hits. Wounding on 3s. It's only 1 hit.
5 to save. No, and I'm out of command points.
D6 plus 1, 5.
There we go, it does go down. Does it blow up on a 6? It does not. So the Death Dread's down. Actually, I did forget to mention my target for my secondary this turn, where I pick a unit to kill in melee. I did pick the Hellbrute, because that was the only thing I was confident of potentially killing.
And then the Chaos Marines will pile in, and we're going to do a Dark Pact for sustained hits, because we'll be wounding on 4s with the +1 to wound from the Dark Apostle. So I'll do the Chain Swords from the Legionaries first. 12 attacks, hitting on 3s, 6s are sustained. 4 misses and a sustained. Wounding on 4s, because it would be 5s normally, but for +1 from the Dark Apostle. 4 wounds at AP -1.
3s to save. Failed 2, and he has a 4 plus feel no pain from War. Made 1 of them, so down to 6.
Got the 2 Dark Disciples, who both hit and get a sustained. Wounding on 5s. Got a wound.
2 plus. Yep.
Oh, the Marine with the Melter Gun gets a miss but a sustained, and he wounds on 4s. He gets a wound with no AP.
Saved.
Power Axe from the Champion. 3s. Miss but a sustained. Strength 5 normally, so 4s. 1 at -2.
4 plus save. Saved.
And then the Dark Apostle, 5 attacks on 2s. Oof, with 4 sustained. Strength 6, so normally would be 4s, goes to 3s. Not a good roll though, it's only 4 wounds at -1.
3s. Failed 2 again, so that would be 4 damage going through in total with a feel no pain. Made 2, so 2 more damage taken, he's down to 4.
And then Dark Pacts for the squad, they're fine with a 6. So there we are, it's the end of Orcs turn 2. As we head into Chaos turn 3. So I'm only going to need 5 reach points this turn for holding objective 2, and the Hellbrute has to take a battle shock test, which is fine.
And at the start of the battle round I also had to declare a target for my Stompum secondary objective, and I'm actually going to pick the Havocs to kill in melee, because I think it's actually the most likely thing I'll kill in melee.
Yeah, and then my only movement is going to be the Havocs moving towards objective 1. And in my shooting phase, how it's going to shoot, I'm going to use malicious volleys on them, and we'll do a dark pact for sustained hits once again. The heavy bolter and the Reaper chain cannon are going to go into the boys, while a crack missile and the las cannon into the Deathcopters. Few shots at the boys. These will be re-rolling everything because they're below half strength thanks to malicious volleys. So 8 shots on 3s, re-rolling, 6s are sustained. 7 hits with 3 sustained, so 10 hits. Wounding on 4s, 4 wounds.
So 5s to save, made 1, so I'll leave the 1 on the objective.
Yeah.
But he's probably going to die anyway.
And heavy bolter hits 3 times with 2 sustained. 4s. 3 wounds at -1.
3 6s for that boy to live? No.
Las cannon hits, wounds on a 2, strength 12. Wounds, -3.
6 plus a vulnerable save for a Deathcopter? Nope.
D6 plus 1 damage, 4.
That kills a Deathcopter.
Crack missile hits, wounds on a 3, it does, -2.
6 either way? Nope.
D6 damage, 5.
Kills another Deathcopter.
Leadership test for the Havocs, they pass, so no damage from dark packs. And the squad in combat with the war boss will shoot their pistols at it. Plasma pistol unsupercharged from the champion, missed. Bolt pistols from the squad get 2 hits, 5s, or a wound.
2 plus, saved.
And the dark apostle doesn't wound. Onto the charge phase, where my only charge is the Havocs into the Deathcopter. Getting an 8, so they're in. So the Havocs all get in, and they get to fight first. And you know what, they'll do a Dark Pact for lethal hits, because it's going to be hard to wound it. 12 attacks on 3s, 6s are lethal. Ooh, 4 6s at least. 7 regular hits, wounding on 5s. Getting another one, so that's 5 wounds at no AP.
4s for a Deathcopter. Oh, down to 1 wound.
And leadership test for the Havoc, they pass again.
That's all the charges, so it's my pick. I'll do the War Boss. 4 attacks on 2s, the War is obviously expired now. 3 hits. 2s to wound. I'm not going for the Dark Apostle this time, obviously, so 2.
Regular Marine dies. Dark Disciple lives. So I'll do the Hellbrute just in case, because that power core is vaguely dangerous. 5 attacks on 4s, getting 3. Wounding on 2s, getting 3.
They're all dead because the minimum damage is enough.
Leaving just the Chaos Marines to fight the War Boss. We'll do a Dark Pact for sustained hits as well. So 8 attacks from Chain Swords on 3s. 6s are sustained. So we've got a miss, but a 6. Wounding on 4s. 4 wounds at -1.
3s. Oh, 2 more damage. No feel, no pain anymore.
Okay, I'm going to do the Dark Apostle next, because he might, if I can kill him with the Dark Apostle, I'll get some victory points. 5 attacks on 2s. And they all hit, no sustain though, he's not quite as mad. Wounding on 3s. 3 wounds at -1.
3s, got to pass them all. No, but I have a palm point.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get the... No, I still failed. So the War Boss does die because it's 2 damage.
And that's a kill with the Dark Apostle, which gets me 3 victory points. Finally, we just have the remaining Deathcopter.
6 attacks on 3s. 4 hits wounding on 3s. 2. Actually wounding on 4s because Howard's toughness 5, but that was still 2.
So 3 plus saves. They both. And that's the end of Chaos turn 3.
But I will concede there because, well, I do technically still control objectives 3 and 4 and will get 10 victory points for them. I have a Deathcopter with 1 wound left.
Yeah, it might take us a couple of turns, but I will be able to take objectives 3 and 4 eventually. But yeah, that'll be a Chaos victory. I'll recap that for you now. So that was game for issue 51 of Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol magazine. How do you think that went?
Well, not brilliantly for the Orks, although it was a bit up and down throughout the game. For example, end of battle round 1 wasn't looking great for the Orks, or lost most of the boys. But then after their second turn, it wasn't looking too bad, actually. Got into melee, killed an entire Space Marine squad, taken your home objective.
Yeah, you had the Deathcopters and 3 boys. The Death Dread was still alive and the War Boss was still alive. The Havocs really had a good game for once.
Yeah, their shooting, actually, I think was the most effective thing. Well, actually, even the normal Chaos Marines did quite well with their shooting, but I didn't really have that much answer to your shooting, to be honest.
Got all my Dark Packs without any downside as well.
Oh yeah, you never failed one of those. Yeah, your Dark Packs really came up well for you as well. You did roll quite a lot of 6s, especially the Dark Apostle, getting 9 hits out of 5 attacks in one round of combat. If the War Boss hadn't had that 4 plus feel no pain, probably would have gone down in that first round.
Yeah, perhaps the board layout was a bit too open, to be fair, for the Orks. I mean, you can cover a lot of distance with being able to advance and charge, so...
I didn't actually get to use that part of it, well, 1 charge, I guess, technically. But the +1 attacks and strength from the War, and also the 5 plus invulnerable save helped a lot. The +1 attacks and strength actually was really good. It makes even individual boys with choppers fairly dangerous, and definitely benefits the knobs with the special weapons as well.
Although I think we both forgot about some of the core stratagems, like I could have tank shot the Death Dread.
I could have gone to ground as well with your shooting in the first turn. I think I'm just not used to having quite so many command points, so I forgot that some of the options existed, and I wanted to show off the Orc stratagems as well, but some of the generic ones might have actually been more useful in that game.
Well, even if you'd rolled higher for you would use the stratagem to let you move after you were shot, but you only got a 1 for the Death Dread, so perhaps if you'd got a 6, you might have been tempted to rush it ahead.
Certainly possible. I did also get to use 6-inch pile in and consolidate. It turned out not to matter in the end, because the boys and the Deathcopters did so well, they were able to take the objective anyway, even without needing that. It did still get a battle line model on the objective though, so I guess if I had survived I would have taken it. It was also tricky for me to get my secondary points because your army is quite good in melee, and the one unit I did destroy in melee was not the unit I was expecting to destroy, because I wouldn't have counted on getting the 9-inch charge with the Deathcopters, and the boys wouldn't have done it alone. Hellbrute in that turn was the most likely thing I was going to kill with melee attacks. The downside of that secondary as well actually is I have to choose the target at the start of the battle round, which if I'm going first means I can pick a unit and then you could actually just move it away if it was something that was further away from me. It would be better if it was actually picking at the start of my turn, but I'm pretty sure it does say start of the battle round.
Yeah, and I think the secondary I picked was perhaps not so good for the Dark Apostle, although he is fairly good at killing things in melee. He's probably not likely to kill an Orc with shooting. Considering also that the main objective is to get into your opponent's deployment zone by turn 5, perhaps the other one might have been better. And we didn't mention it, but we did get some more Battlefield Essentials cards. So you would have actually seen the 2 new terrain pieces, the sort of slightly wonky barricades, slightly more interesting than having L shapes all the time. And the rest of it is just cards for the Votan and the upcoming Orc unit as well. And yes, and we learned about the narrative campaign. As I said, we probably won't follow it too closely. We'll just do games and then see who's top at the end by issue 90, unless something else happens in the meantime. Although, if you'd like to see us do something different, do leave any comments below.
As we'll see in a couple of issues' time, it does present a matchup and a mission to play, so maybe we'll just follow those, and for example when we next play with the Orcs, if we've got a mission for them we might do that matchup instead of just picking one randomly, and it might lead into the story or it might not.
Yeah, and in issues where we have introductory games we'll stick to doing those for that episode. But otherwise, leave any comments again how you've been getting on with the magazine if you've been collecting it. We've been the Tailed Donkeys and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye for now.